Mario Kart. It's just another jewel in the crown of Nintendo's line of Test Your Friendship series, along with Super Smash the Controller and Mario Parting Ways. For me, this has always been the most enjoyable of the three. It's not time-intensive and at times sluggish like Mario Party, and unlike Smash, my shaky hands and bad coordination don't completely take me out of the running. And so I figured, why not take something I enjoy doing with my friends, and add in the one thing guaranteed to turn a good time into a great time: math. The question was, what would I analyze? I knew which Mario Kart I wanted to look at. That's the easy part. Double Dash, obviously. I mean, come on. At first I thought, why not determine the longest track in terms of distance? But that seemed easily answered. It's Rainbow Road. It's the longest. We all know this. Would pinpointing how many miles it is really impress anyone that much? Then I thought, why not determine the max speed a kart can go, and by proxy which kart is the fastest? But no, it's right there on the screen. Equal maxes for all setups. 55 miles per hour and 70 with a speed ramp or mushroom. And then it hit me. Let's figure out how much money it costs to run a race in Mario Kart. So buckle up, both for the sake of the pun and because it's the law, and let's dive into the world of early 2000s economics. If you're still with me, and let's be honest, you're not, no one was before, and breaking down gas prices from 14 years ago isn't exactly an attention grabber. But regardless, if you're still with me, congrats! We're about to embark on an adventure that may shock and mystify you. Because, my god, I had no idea go-karts were just so inefficient at just about everything they do. Spoiler, by the way. They're fun, but my god are they awful for the environment. Let's begin by figuring out what pieces we need to be able to determine how much we're spending on a race. To figure this out, we need to know how much distance we've covered, how many miles per gallon our kart can go, and how much the gas itself costs. First, let's cover that last point, as it's the most straightforward. We're opting to go for accuracy, which means we'll be using the price of gas from the time and place of development, which means Japan in the year 2003. Or, at the very least, 2003 was when it first began showing at expos, so it's a good place to start. Now, it may come as a shock to some that gas prices for Kyoto in May 2003 are not easily accessible online. Okay, so only I was surprised by that knowledge. The best I could do was find a bunch of vague graphics tracking fluctuating oil prices for large nations over the course of a couple of decades. And as luck would have it, both Japan and the year 2003 were consistent on these graphs. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not in love with these sources. It's not that I believe them to be illegitimate, it's just that I wasn't able to very well track the sources of them, and generally research opts for a guilty until proven innocent approach of these sorts of things. That all being said, the graphs were all pretty consistent in terms of charted data to one another, so I'm willing to let it slide as remissible, but take the info with a grain of salt. Anyways, the commonly reported price was about $5 a gallon, which, geez, were the Japanese burning scented candles instead of gas? I mean, it's dropped a bit since then, which is somehow even more amazing to me, but island driving ain't cheap. Now we'll go over how many miles per gallon our kart can go. Researching this bit was somehow more creepy than vague Google image graphs of gas prices. Because while I'm more confident in this data, at least the gas price didn't lead me to MissouriMoms.com. While the moms themselves weren't the most useful, some other sources were. Now, when we run in Mario Kart, we're going to be running a 150cc race. Because while the speeds in game are stagnant, in real life cc is a shorthand for cubic centimeters of displacement. This is a measurement of speed, so the higher the cc, the faster we go, and this is going to help our bottom line price-wise. This means we're going to be looking at karts built for 150cc, as this will help best represent how many miles per gallon we'll get. We also specifically want to look at double rider karts, as this is an integral element of what makes Double Dash Double Dash. Every pound counts when it comes to fuel efficiency, after all. And speaking of pounds, double rider go-karts tend to average around 200 pounds a frame. Karts of this size and speed also tend to average anywhere between 55 to 65 miles per gallon. For the sake of easiness, we'll be taking the median and saying our kart will get 60 miles per gallon. Also of note is that when it comes to tank size, most 150cc double rider karts can hold around 1.6 gallons of gas. You'll want to hold on to those last two numbers as they'll be coming into play later. The last piece of the puzzle we need before we can drop all our numbers into our final equation is distance. While we can already determine the going rate of cost per hour of a double dash kart to run, We can't attach a dollar value to various courses unless we know how far we go. Now, to figure out distance, let's start by figuring out how fast we're going. If you'll remember, Mario Kart maxes out at 55 miles per hour and can boost to 70. Congrats, Mario! Your go-karts can safely drive on any highway in my state, so long as you stay away from the shrooms. Now, for our purposes, we want to determine an average speed over the course of the race. This is easiest to do on the great equalizer, Baby Park. There aren't many gimmicks here to save you, just the road, the rage, and the 7 circles of baby hell. I'm using a race I found online, completed in time trial mode for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I'm not good enough to actually optimize the time myself, and number 2, trial will eliminate a lot of the nasty variables we call items. It leaves 2 mushrooms per race, but we can easily account for those, so there's nothing like a crash to bring our speed to a complete standstill. Our race master here completed the race in a time of 72.044 seconds, or a little over a minute. In that time, they maintained even speed between 55 and 70 after initial acceleration. Both when using the mushrooms and drifting through bends, they topped out at 70, but on straightaways they held steady at 55. That being the case, I'm going to take the average of our 2 speeds and use that for our calculations here, giving us an average of 62.5 miles per hour. Not bad for a stroller. With that calculation done, we want to reduce our units. Miles per hour is a good standard, but our racer cleared in under a minute and a half. If we tried to plug it in as is, we'd get super annoyingly small decimals. Don't get me wrong, we'll be seeing them either way, but we can at least let off a little steam if we put our units into more manageable terms. And with one swish of the magic calculator, our 1 hour has become 3,600 easy to work with seconds. Weird, right? 3,600 seconds just sounds like a lot less than an hour, but Mother Math, she don't lie. Now, to get miles per second, I turn to Lady Google, who is a good friend of Lady Math. The two collaborate on a lot of projects, as well as Lady Wolfram Alpha, but she only works with those in the know. Regardless, converting 62.5 miles per hour into a rate of miles per second gives us 0.0174 miles per second. We'll then take our miles per second and multiply this by our race clear time of 72.044 seconds, and this gives us our total distance covered, 1.2535656 miles. Honestly, I'm a little amazed Baby Park clocks in at over a mile. It feels so short. I mean, if literal babies can run it, it can't be that long. They tire easily. Instead of pit stopping for oil, they're just going to pit stop for juice boxes. And now, we can finally put together our calculation that will tell us how much it costs to run a race in Baby Park. And credit where credit is due, the order of operations on this one came from those very same Missouri moms. Cheers, ladies! Firstly, we take our miles per gallon, 60, and divide it by the current cost of gas, $5 in 2003 Japan, which gives us the number 12. This means that for every dollar, we get 12 miles out of our cart. Awesome. 12 is an amazingly even number we can work with. So follow me now, because $60 per gallon is $5, and 1/5 of 60 is 12. That means 12 miles is equal to a cost of $1. From there, we can flip that around and divide our 100 pennies by 12, which gives us 8.3 with repeating decimals forever. Now, when mathematicians would work with a number like this, they would just put the initial number, the decimal, the first place of the decimal, and then write a line on top of it. But for the sake of easiness, we're just going to round that up to 8.4. But that means that every mile we drive in Mario Kart Double Dash only costs us 8.4 cents. That's pretty insane. Now, all we have to do is divide our miles traveled by our cost per mile, which means, final tally, racing in Baby Park will cost us about 15 cents. Or in even simpler terms, 2.2 cents per lap. If that sounds like a good deal, it gets even better. Burning through an entire tank of gas will only run you $11.42. Okay, an amendment to my previous statement from earlier. I said go-karts were terrible at just about everything. They may be cheap to run, but they are terrible for the environment. I mean, these gas guzzlers are just awful. Now, I can already hear you yelling at me through your computer screens, and first of all, stop that. No one likes an angry yelling person. And secondly, I know, you didn't come here to hear about Baby Park. Baby Park It's fun, it's evil, it ruins friendships, but it's not why you're here. You want to know what Rainbow Road costs. Understandable, it is the pinnacle of Mario Kart, and let's do it now. So first of all, in this instance, because I'm too lazy to look up another video, let's take the world record clear time for Rainbow Road Double Dash, which is 2 minutes, 54 seconds, and 464 milliseconds. I'm lucky if I can even complete this course, and people are beating it in 3 minutes? Anyways, my ineptitude aside, let's take our clear time, which will convert into 174 seconds and 464 milliseconds, and multiply that by our rate of miles per second, 0.0174. This will give us our total distance traveled of 3.0356736 miles. Now all we have to do is divide that number by our cost per mile, which if you'll remember is 8.3 cents, and that will give us our total cost to run Rainbow Road, which is, about 37 cents. I mean, hell, in this universe, imagine what kind of crazy things you could do at the dollar store. You'd be a high roller. Hey there, thanks for watching. If you liked this video, why not leave me a like? It'll let me know I'm on the right track and doing a good job. Also, if you think I got it wrong and didn't do a good job, comment and tell me how I can do better. I'd love to hear your personal take on the calculations because I'm not perfect. I'm probably going to mess it up a lot more than I get it right sometimes. And if you're like me and constantly get 8th place in Mario Kart, you should subscribe. We losers have to stick together.